Hello and welcome back to the Football in Question YouTube channel. The transfers aren't stopping, so neither will we. Yesterday I released 2 videos on the channel covering Kai Havertz's deal, and I recorded that a few days earlier. That's developed a lot more since then with news coming out today. I'll address that slightly because it relates to today's news. And yesterday I talked about Timber, which news has come out since then. I might slip that in right at the end. But the main focus today is Mateo Kovacic. Here we go. It's been given the here we go by Fabrizio Romano. He is going to be a Manchester City player. And what does that mean for Manchester City? Well, it very much looks like this is going to be in the kind of same style as Gundogan. That's the prediction I'd make. He's going to fill that role. There are really no certainties on Gundogan staying. They're still trying, I believe, but it very much looks like he will be leaving on a free. It looks like he might be more likely to go to Barcelona, but there is still the possibility of Gundogan going to Arsenal. But anyway, I do think Kovacic is a good signing. He's still kind of in terms of the age, it's not, he's not a young signing, but in terms of replacing like Gundogan, he's still a high quality player. He's one of the better players in that Chelsea squad. He's a Champions League winner at Chelsea and Real Madrid, if you want to count it. He didn't play a major part, but he's still won multiple Champions Leagues. He's got to a World Cup final in his career, and a World Cup semi-final. But he's a good player. He's a quality, experienced player at the top level of European football. And I don't think anyone would ever doubt Pep Guardiola when he's making a signing like this. And I think it's a good move. I think when Chelsea were at their top or playing well in the last 3 years, I think Kovacic was a big part of that. Him and Jorginho, when they were both performing together in that Champions League run, it was good to see. And I remember just after they won the Champions League, the season after that, I was looking at that Chelsea side and I thought they could challenge, and they didn't. They just got they just got comfortably top 4, and I expected a little bit better of them. But still, Kovacic was a huge part of me thinking that he has shown his qualities. If Real Madrid sign you, there's a reason really you're there, unless if you're Hostler, and then I don't really know why you're there. But basically, he is a top quality talent. And Chelsea have got another sale, and that is the other story here. Chelsea have sold another player, and they need to get all these sales done by June 30th to beat FFP in order to ensure they can have the window they want, realistically. Because let's live in the hypothetical world where they don't sell anyone, where they don't make any of these sales by June 30th. Realistically, Caicedo deal might be really screwed up, because that could potentially be maybe the only deal they can do feasibly, and then nothing else comes in. And would they want a reality like that? No, they don't really want that. They're going to want flexibility. They're going to want a window where they have more control. And if they're in a situation like that, then Brighton hold all the cards, or realistically the deal goes off, or they have to use Levi Colwill, which they do not want to do. And that very much seems like the top priority signing for Chelsea, even though they're not really focusing on that, because they need all these sales done. But you've got to commend Chelsea. We talked about recently in a video on the Saudi League what they've done in terms of negotiating deals with them, and whether or not it's dodgy or not. But if you take away all the deals they've negotiated with the Saudi League, they've negotiated Kovacic and Havertz both to join a Premier League club, and the combined fee for both of them, if you include add-ons and the entire agreed fee and instalments, is around £95 million. That's a lot of money. That's a very good deal for Chelsea. A lot of that money is coming from the Arsenal Havertz deal, which is very close to being agreed for £65 million, according to Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein. And Kovacic, it's probably the right time for him to go from Chelsea. He's of that age. Jorginho, even though he's done well at Arsenal after leaving, was probably on his way out from Chelsea anyway. And Pep Guardiola has taken a good opportunity here and bolstered his squad looking ahead. He's going to be Man City's first signing of the summer. And it's weird looking at Man City when they try and sign players in the summer, because they've got such an amazing squad. You don't really know how they're going to improve it. And the answer is you can't really improve in most areas, but what you can do is put in next to world-class depth. Because at Man City, even if you're not going to play, you're going to be playing under one of the best managers in the world and playing with some of the best players in the world, and someone like Kovacic knowing he's not going to start every week may actually be exciting. It's not a comfortable environment, it's a challenge, and a top player should want that challenge, and we'll have to wait and see how Kovacic does. I personally think it will be a good signing. I think I've seen enough from him as a player to think he is capable of playing in Pep's system. Will he perform at the same level of Gundogan? That remains to be seen. He had a top season. That brace in the FA Cup final just shows that's a very good way of finishing off his Manchester City career, even if he did win the Champions League a week later. But yeah, Kovacic overall good. Today they've agreed 4 deals, Chelsea. They've agreed 4 deals. That doesn't count Havertz. That's close to being agreed. But I'm pretty sure Koulibaly and Ziyech have both been agreed as well. And I think Mendy might have been agreed as well. So yeah, a lot of sales being agreed, a lot of money coming in for Chelsea, and it's interesting looking ahead to the next Premier League season, because Chelsea, being laughed at last season, and I remember in January people were laughing at their window, and I said I'm very worried about Chelsea next season, because it very much feels like they've got a lot of spending power, and we can laugh at them now, they're not spending it right, but once they know what they're doing, they're going to be a danger, and they're getting sales bang on. They're not struggling here. They're getting good value for money out of these deals. They're saying players who are, older. I mean, other than Mendy, who's, as a goalkeeper, not young, not old. But you've got Koulibaly going off, Ziyech going off. And, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure, Kante's free, so we don't really need to worry about that. But they're getting good fees for these players. Now they're in a pretty good position to basically have the entire window, the rest of the window, to focus on incomings. They had a massive job of getting rid of the deadwood. They are doing that. And now they can look ahead to the rest of the window. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if after June 30th, when this whole thing resets and they're in a good positive position after all these sales, I wouldn't be surprised if Moises Caicedo is done within 10 days of July. I would not be surprised, because the main competitor was Arsenal, and it very much seems like Arsenal have dropped out of the race purely because they cannot commit to both him and Rice. And as much as this video is about Kovacic, the focus is not on Man City, the focus is on Chelsea, because with Man City, it's an unknown entity how he's going to fit in. It's just Man City. Man City are amazing. Pep is amazing. He'll probably find a way playing him in that midfield 3. Maybe not as much responsibility as Gundogan. Maybe is he going to start as much? Is Foden going to take over that Gundogan role, which we saw him subbed in for in the Champions League final? Not entirely sure, but he'll still have to compete. He's not a straight starter in that side. I mean, he did just play in a side which finished 12th. But with Chelsea, it's very impressive what they're doing here, getting all these sales done. 65 mil for Havertz is nearly agreed, and Kovacic is done. That is monumental business by Chelsea looking ahead for the rest of the season. Also, Nicholas Jackson is pretty much done as well, I'm pretty sure. And the rest of the window is theirs. Who are they going to get? I think Caicedo will eventually join Chelsea, but other than that, I do not really have a clue. Finally, just before we finish off as well, news came out today following on from yesterday's news in my video where I covered Jurrien Timber's potential move to Arsenal. First of all, news has come out that apparently he agreed in his last contract a release clause with Ajax, and that will become active in 2 weeks. So it's interesting that Arsenal are bidding now, as that means they probably are aware of the release clause, they're aware of what the fee is, and they're bidding around the fee of the release clause, and probably, I don't know, they're probably maybe going to try and pay above it and then give a different payment structure, because once the release clause becomes active, it's going to be interesting how many clubs then swamp over him, because there will be an easy way to jump into negotiations. But the news has come out that Jurrien Timber is very much focused on the Arsenal move and wants the Arsenal move, and a deal can be agreed very soon. Kovacic to City. What are your thoughts? Comment below what you think about this move. How will he fit in at City? Do you think he can successfully replace Gundogan? And it does seem like he is going to be on the way out at City. And what do you think of Chelsea's business so far this window? No incomings, but a lot of outgoings, a lot of money being generated by them. Obviously not straight away because of instalments, but it's a very positive window for them. They had the challenge to beat FFP and get all these sales after the January they had, and they are doing that. So what do you think about that? Comment below. Like the video if you enjoyed this video. Ding the bell for notifications. Should be notified every single time we upload, and we're going to upload a lot now the window is going. I mean, just look at the last few days. There is a lot of stuff to be done. And yeah, that's all. This has been the footballing question. And with the way the window's going, I'll probably see you in about 3 hours.